you know, 8 to 12 people up here, and I'm just looking at it. I didn't know they let VIP in. I thought like that was it. I was just sort of like, really? Okay, I mean, that's cool. I'll work with it, but really? You know, so I was like, you know, I was bringing the chair down here. I'm like, I'm gonna chat with you guys. I'm gonna chat, and then like a whole line of people are coming in. I'm like, okay, here I go. So, I guess I'll just sort of wait for people to start, you know, to keep coming in and filling the chairs and stuff. And hopefully it's, well, you guys were outside. Is this about the amount of people that was in line, or was there even more? Damn, I'm so popular. Well, here, while we're waiting to see if they're gonna bring any more people in, I suppose I can waste it. Who wants to hear me say some of my internet meme catchphrases? Okay, you pick one. I don't know. That's not what I said. All right, Batgirl. What's one?
Bad credit card.
Oh, bad credit card! You can tell this came from a Schumacher movie because the back is pink. Actually, I'll let you guys know. Well, first of all, as funny as this is, just about every con I go to, I get at least one of these, and I'm actually starting a scrapbook of bad credit cards. So, and just so you guys know, that was my one. That was my one freak out. Batgirl appropriately made it happen, so that makes sense. But if I just keep doing it all the time, my voice disappears. So, thanks, right? So, okay, I think we'll just go ahead and start here. I'll just give a quick intro for anyone who doesn't know. I am Doug Walker, also known as That Guy with the Glasses, of the website thatguywiththeglasses.com. I do bum reviews, That's That Guy with the Glasses, video game confessions, and probably the most famous, the Nostalgia Critic applaud.
And you come more children, come into my gingerbread house.
I think, honestly, we'll just go right into it because we only have an hour. We'll just start taking it. It's basically just a Q&A. Any questions you guys have, I'll just point to you. Actually, let's do this to make it a little easier because there's a microphone right there in the center. If you guys have a question, if someone has a question, just come up here, line up, and just ask it there so I can definitely hear you because there are people back there. So anyone has a question, go ahead, line up in the microphone. Go! Back! No! Oh, okay. Good reflexes. Go ahead.
Hey. So I have a serious question and a comedy question. You can pick which one you want to ask.
No, do both.
Okay. For the serious question, when you first started out doing your internet reviews, did you ever have any concerns about, like, you know, I'm putting myself out there and putting my image out there? Did you have any hesitations and how you came over that?
You know, at the most, the concern I had is when I started off doing the Nostalgia Critic, you can kind of tell, like, I didn't have the voice, I didn't go as high-pitched, so I was a little bit more reserved when I got angry. So I think there was a little bit of the, hey, I want to look cool, you know, kind of thing there. But then I just embraced my inner geek. But honestly, no, because that's still on the internet. People were still discovering stuff with the internet, and I'm still not that freaked out about it. I mean, I take precautions. I have security in my house. I mean, I'm not, you know, totally naive. But yeah, for the most part, it's pretty laid back. I was never that concerned.
Okay. And my final question is, if you could pick one movie person, like producer, reviewer, or producer, actor, whoever, if no consequences, you could walk up and punch them in the balls. And to make it easier, let's take Tommy Wiseau out of the equation. Who would it be?
You know, I'm not a violent person.
You hide it well.
Good response. No, honestly, I mean, with the Nostalgia Critic, it is a character. I don't really get, in reality, I don't get that angry with movies. I think the only film that really made me, like, angry recently was that the last Twilight movie that did sort of piss me off. But even then, I mean, it's just a film. There's bigger problems in the world than saying, you know, you made a bad film. You know, so in reality, it's more just for jokes. I'm not actually that vengeful about films. I wouldn't punch anybody, honestly, even if there were no consequences.
Just super quick, as a Nostalgia Critic, who would you
As a
say?
Nostalgia Critic, oh, every son of a bitch has ever made a film that I've had to sit through. Joel Schumacher, Tommy Wiseau, every kind of Michael Bay, shit to take. I don't know all of them.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, you can step up. There you go.
Hello there. So I have two questions.
Go for
the
it.
first question, what's a movie that no matter how many times you watch it, you're just confused? Like, you not confused as in you're enraged and you're just wondering, oh God, this movie's terrible. More like you're looking at the movie and you see something good and it's like, oh, it's a good movie, and then you see something bad, it's like a bad movie, and you just keep seeing it. And you're not really sure what it is.
You know, that's a great question. I'll tell you, I was almost thinking about doing a list. I don't know if I can think of enough, but like the top 10 movies I don't like, and I don't know why. Like, they should be good movies. And it's like, I do kind of like them, but it's not, why don't I think this is a great film? I should love them. Like, one is The Truman Show, which I enjoy, but I'm like, why don't I think this is great? And I still can't narrow it down. Or In the Bedroom is another one. It's like, I should love this. How come this isn't working for me? Or The Crucible. For whatever reason, like these films, I'm just like, I'm not getting into this. Like, yeah, I want to know what's going to happen, but I'm not like invested. Like, these are some great stories and great ideas and great characters, fine acting. Why isn't this all coming together and blowing me away? So there's a couple films.
What about like in the other way? Like, you just think, oh, I should hate this movie. There's something there that...
Yeah, no, there's a lot like that. Actually, a great example is, this going to sound weird, How to Train Your Dragon, I should hate, but I adore it. And something about that film, it has everything I shouldn't like. I'm sick of the prejudice stories. I'm sick of the nobody will listen to the kids story. I'm sick of the modern day talk in these, but something about that film really works. I find those directors really good. It's the same people who did Lilo and Stitch. And again, I should not like this, but it's like they made the sisters so good. And something about that dragon movie, I don't know what it is, but it really grabbed me and I was really invested. I was really into it. So yeah, that's probably one of those movies.
And the other question is, what's your sort of like video game background, so to speak?
Video game background? I've gone up
like, I know
to...
you stray off making videos of LPs or whatever.
Yeah, so very wisely I would think. I think I sort of stopped at GameCube, and I didn't really, but I do have a Wii, but I mean, I don't use it that much. And I even have a PlayStation 3, but I use it to watch Blu-rays. So really, up to about the GameCube is where I stopped. I just haven't had time to play the games. But you know, I got the Lord of the Rings games for GameCube and the Metroid and stuff like that. So I did play some, but that's about as far as I go. I just don't have time for other games, sadly. So awesome. The next one.
So I have a question about your character, Chester A. Bomb. It's
Yes.
not for Chester, but it's kind of a multi-question, but still one question. How did you come up with the idea of Chester A. Bomb, and like, what kind of character was he when you were kind of experimenting? Like, was there prototypes of Chester? Was he a different kind of character? What kind of inspired you to do modern-day movies with a Bomb?
Well, the Chester came from just a voice I did in the Cloverfield review, where I'm just imitating the movie, and it's just me shaking the camera and saying, "Oh my God, we're all gonna die!" And I just love that voice. And I said, "Okay, I gotta do a character on this voice." Leslie said, "He sounds like a crazy bum." Okay, I'll make him a crazy bum. What aren't I doing? Well, I haven't done current films, so I'll make him current film reviews. And everything else just sort of came from the first review, you know? I mean, you don't think to yourself. The only thing I knew is that he would love every single movie he sees. That's the only thing I knew. Everything else, you know, I was blank, blank, blank once, you know, and then a punchline, or, you know, I lived in a punchline, you know, it just sort of happened organically, you know, just whatever I kept coming back to, that seemed to be the thing to keep doing. So, Yeah, the characters that catch on the best, I actually don't put much thought into. It's very odd. The ones where I try to really, calculate from a marketing standpoint and really work on this, usually don't do that well. Melvin should have been a big hit. Awesome.
Just out of curiosity, what motivated you to constantly torment yourself with reviewing really bad movies? Say, for example, the Titanic animated films, especially the second one, and of course, the Magic Noise with all the
Nice. What brings me to do it is just funny. I did a whole panel yesterday on just on comedy, the nature of comedy. It's all based on misery. So the more a character is suffering, sadly, the more funny it's usually going to be. But I think what people enjoy is that he's suffering from something that you're also suffering from too, and he's trying to fight back. He's trying to make fun of it too.
Reviewing the movie.
Was it?
Such as, for example, similar, you being the character that's suffering to deal with the movie.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's why people, laugh so hard at the Nostalgia Critic, because he's just suffering so much, and you can understand what he's suffering through. But you don't get that angry because it's a friggin' movie. But he will get so vengeful and angry and blah, 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 and go places where really nobody else would care or want to go, but he will because he makes it his life.
By the way, you made my day so many times. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, man. Thanks for watching.
Alright, assuming it's possible, if everyone is dead and you had to repopulate the Earth with either the angry video game nerd or Spoonie, who would you choose?
Well, Spoonie already violated me in Spooning with Spoonie, so I guess just for variety, the angry video game. Just to make some fan fictions come to life.
Two questions. First of all, the characters that you create, the critic in particular, do you, sit down one day and think, I should turn this into a character and kind of lock yourself into a room, or do they just appear organically?
I have some idea going in, but they're not fully fleshed out. I don't know their background, I don't know their history or anything like that, and I think that is best just to sort of let it happen organically. With the critic, he was always supposed to be someone who's, kind of pathetic, and he's a loser. He's Daffy Duck. He's the guy, he never wins. He's constantly tormented. Because it just makes me laugh. I just think that kind of stuff is funny. And it's great putting him up against someone who's more a winner. Like Rolf is the hero. He right down to I wear black, he wears white. It's about as clear cut as you can get. No, I don't. Like I said, the ones that work out the best, I actually don't put that much thought into. That seems to work the best for me.
Second question. Now that you're super internet famous,
I like that phrase.
how much of what you do now is still just you sitting in front of your computer, and how much is the rest of it?
Say again, I'm sorry.
How much of it is just you sitting in front of the computer still, and how much of it, how much is the rest of it?
The stuff that takes the least amount of time is actually the filming, which actually I'm happy for because that's the part I like the least. Which is very strange. You'd think I would like that the most, but the part I do like the most, which you would think I would like the least, is the editing. And I like the editing because you're seeing if it's working, you're seeing it come alive, and you're getting closer to the end. And I like thinking up the idea too, that's fun. I guess Hitchcock had the same thing. He said the filming is the worst part. He hates them because when you're thinking it up, any possibility is possible. And then when you're editing and putting it together, you're seeing if it's working, you're seeing your dream come to life. The filming is the middle, and it's just, you gotta do this because you gotta do this, and you're just trying to get to the end instead. Which for a lot of people, they love the filming, and good for them. They should. It's just, that's the part that I don't hate, it's just my least favorite part. Most of it is on the computer.
Thank you.
I just have one question. What's your favorite Schwarzenegger movie?
Schwarzenegger movie, I'm really fond of the film.
Nah.
Where's that one? I love that guy's shirt. Point that shirt. That's one of my favorite shirts. So I remember that shirt. I just want to point out. My favorite Schwarzenegger movie. I'm trying to think. I want to just go to Terminator 2, and that probably is it, because that's like the most complete. Like, he's believable. You don't know why he has an Austrian accent, but everything else, you know, is totally legit. Everything else, you know, is fun for the goofiness, and you play it up in the fun and everything. But I mean, that's the one where it's like, no, that was a legit film. And I do like him in Twins too. I think he was very believable in Twins. But Twininator. No. But yeah, Terminator 2.
I have two questions. My first question is, well, I love all your reviews, but my favorite ones are the ones that you do with other reviewers because your work is so well. So, who's your favorite? What was your favorite review to do with another reviewer?
My favorite one,
Or some.
yeah, no, my favorite one to do is actually also my favorite review, and that's the Moulin Rouge one. I love that. It took so much time to do, but it was so much fun, and it was so creative, and just everybody sort of came together. You know, me and Brent and Lindsay, we all sort of contributed a little something, and it's also the best use of the cameos. I feel like every cameo gets a laugh, and I love that. And none of them felt forced or unnecessary. Yeah, that was probably my favorite.
And the second question, your Jets father. We got Arnold Schwarzenegger. What's your favorite Stallone movie?
Favorite Stallone? Rocky. Yeah, Rocky or Rocky 2. Yeah, love him. Anytime I hear that theme, that I'm like, it's just like, especially when they're doing the big, whatever, keep it on now, they're doing the song, and then when they, I'm like, yeah, and I'm like really hyped, and I'm super hyped, I'm into it, then they play the thing, I'm like, so, love it.
Did you manage to get a new passport, or do you need a brownie to accompany?
I got it. Actually, it was a very quick turnaround because, like, the place where they issue passports is like right dab in the middle of Chicago. I go in, I think it's going to be like at least a couple days, and they're like, I hand them the information. Okay, we'll have this to you by 1 o'clock.
Also, would you like to play Parcheesi sometime?
I don't even know what Parcheesi is. Me either. I know it's a game. That was part of it. Actually, I'll tell you something funny. The opening of that Nostalgia Critic, the original opening was much shorter and much calmer. And as I was looking at the ending, I just filmed the ending, I'm just like, no, this has to be bigger. This has to be a bigger deal. And that whole thing was improvised. And I did it, at first I did it about 3 times. Just to get down, and then the third time, I'm like, oh, I got every point I need to hit is here, the timing was great, I am so happy, let me just turn on the camera, I didn't record. Oh! And you saw how much I put into the opening, and I'm screaming and yelling, and wouldn't it be nice, and blah, blah, blah. So I had to do it 2 more times, and what's in there is good, but it's like, it never beat that third time that I don't have sadly, so. Thank you for offering to play Parcheesi.
No problem.
During the Digimon movie review, I noticed that you left the Mighty Mighty Boss Turns Out of late 90s bingo. Any reason for that? Some sort of vendetta or anything? Just for that.
Yeah, I absolutely hate that band. I hope they rot in hell. I am looking to assassinate them. No, just time.
And secondly, I was at your autograph session the other day, and I was $1 short, so here you go.
Oh, it's an American dollar. I get change!
Okay,
very kind, thank you.
2 questions. First question, who's your favorite character that you portray?
My favorite character? Nostalgia Critic.
Yeah, like that. And the second question, April O'Neil or Catherine Zeta-Jones?
Yeah, say again, sorry?
April O'Neil or Catherine Zeta-Jones?
Oh, Catherine Zeta-Jones. April's not real.
Okay, first FYI to the camera guys, point it back to the person you paid $60 for, okay? Alright, 2 questions. Just basically the first one, it's part of something. What's the point of recommending the people to watch a movie you review like The Room or Dungeons and Dragons and Commando when you already spoiled its biggest surprises?
Oh no, there's always stuff in the review where I can, point it out and make fun of it, but there's always stuff I leave out, and even if, it's like watching a trailer for something. Even though I do point out what's going to happen, in my opinion, if a film is really good, actually, I found this out with opera, because I can actually, when I go to opera, they actually tell you in the program, this is everything that happens. And actually, if something is really good, I found it actually helps. It can actually make it stronger if you know what's going to happen. Like, it'll still survive, it'll still be good. And bad films are especially like that, because you actually look forward to when something is coming up. So I think, even though you can watch my review and be like, oh, he spoiled that, he spoiled that, I think when you actually see it all put together as one complete, you can't. The Room, the review, and The Room, the film, I mean, there's no good, go see The Room. It's a masterpiece. It has to be experienced.
All right, second one. Are there any requests you have gotten as of recently that you are planning to do?
Not that... Not that I can think of, but, you know, we'll see what happens.
Did you put something in your suitcase?
Did I put something in my suitcase?
Yeah, I gave you this something yesterday.
It's probably in my suitcase then.
Yeah. Take a look inside the case. You'll probably like it. Be happy.
Okay, it's not ticking, is it? I'll trust you it's not.
Like many before me, 2 questions. Have you ever thought of starting to watch anime? Like,
oh no, there's a few animes I've watched. I have nothing against anime. I love the Miyazaki stuff. I mean, some of my favorite shows are Cowboy Bebop and one that, I mean, I even know some that people aren't aware of, like how many people know what Kino's Journey is? Yeah, a couple do, but I mean, it's not like as huge or mainstream, you know, it's like, it's a damn good show. So there's definitely some I catch on to, and even my brother was starting to get me. I actually did see all of the first, whatever it's called, Full Metal Alchemist, like all those shows. So I mean, there's definitely some that I know. I mean, it's just a matter of time. I just don't have time to watch a lot of them. That's why I prefer watching the films more than the shows. But a lot of them are good shows, and they're very well paced and well put together. I think actually a lot of American television and even cinema is borrowing a lot from those anime shows in terms of the continuing storylines and what keeps the person interested in the character and stuff. So I think we're actually borrowing a lot from them.
Second question: if you could change anything about the movie industry today, what would it be?
I actually think films nowadays, I'm actually more optimistic for film nowadays because we are taking more chances. I mean, I think The Avengers is a great example. I mean, that would never happen years ago. Lord of the Rings would never happen years ago. You know, and even something like Dark Knight, that being a big hit and taking as many risks as it did. You know, I mean, nobody would go that far. So I am actually more optimistic for mainstream film, and for underground films, it's great too because technology is advancing so much, it's becoming more and more affordable, and the internet is making it much more possible. So, I mean, just personally, I guess the only thing that bothers me about the film industry, which is just businesses in general, sadly, is that, you know, no matter what you do, there's lots of people throwing money into it, and everybody want to succeed, so they're going to put their opinion in, their thumbprints and stuff like that. And sometimes that works, a lot of time it becomes too complicated and everyone has a different vision, and that's really tough. So anyone that can make it work and still make a good film, I mean, has talent and is doing something right. Because every film is very difficult to make and very difficult to make well.
Thank you. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, you keep watching.
We meet again.
Indeed.
2 questions like everyone else. The first one, I've actually thought of this one before coming up here. Has there ever been a review like you were thinking of doing, like you really wanted to do it as the critic, but you kind of changed your mind at the last minute?
No, but there's one that I should have, and I think that's the junior review. Because going in, we were just like, oh, this leads to a bajillion possibilities. It's going to be so much fun, and it was so boring. Surprisingly, you'd think that the jokes would just write themselves, but it was really tough. And we couldn't get that much good material out of it. That's one where we should have just said, you know what, this is too difficult, let's get another Schwarzenegger film. There's lots of other Schwarzenegger films to make fun of. But we wanted to try it, we wanted to see if we could do it, and I think that one does fall off.
The second question, this was a big one. And at the end of watching your top 11 Nostalgia Critics you wouldn't do, I noticed a lot of people in the comments, like on YouTube and your own site, they noticed there was exclusion of Troll 2.
Oh,
Like, I mean, it's obvious.
It's the same thing like with what you call it?
Phantom Menace?
Yeah, like everybody's done it. I don't know. I try not to do stuff that I feel I can't bring something unique to, or like different jokes or something. That's the same reason I didn't really do Ninja Turtles 3, because James Rolfe just pointed out every single solitary thing wrong with that film, and I couldn't add a thing. You know, so it's like there's nothing I could contribute to it that would be different.
Thank you. That's what I trade a puppet.
Yeah, I will. You give me a puppet.
Now that you're famous, do people recognize you around town, and are you worried about people trying to stalk you, since we see your house sometimes in the videos?
No huge stalkings yet. I do have a security system. I mean, like I said, I took some precautions, but happily, I don't get recognized that often unless I'm at like a con. I think the only places where I constantly get recognized are either malls or movie theaters, which I guess makes sense. Yeah, I can go walking in the street fine and not have like a million people be like, da, da, like the Beatles or anything like that. You know, I think